18 and 5. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. And the light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down.
Right. So, hey, shalom, brothers. Welcome to another edition of the show, GMS Journeys. You know, I got Elder Tyler Dakba with me, Elder Ibad, Elder Anap. You know, and pretty much, like Job said, the Most High is about to put your lights out, Esau. All right. It's about a week after 9/11. Now, last week they did all this bullshit patriotism, and we gonna go further into it. How one is all bullshit, but the Most High is using that to terrorize you so-called white people, man. Even though there ain't no such thing as no goddamn Arabs that are blowing up buildings and stuff like that, the Al-Qaeda, which is nothing but the CIA, right? But the Most High is bringing terror to you devils, man. That's why the Most High said in Job, he's gonna put your light out, man. All right, go ahead, Abba. You had something you was gonna say?
No, that's it, brother. You can go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
For he is cast into a net by his own feet.
Right, because basically the so-called white man is all about setting up traps, right? With this 9/11, basically what the 9/11 did was set up a whole bunch of traps. The Patriot Act 1, Patriot Act 2. You know, you could Google it. There's so many different laws and legislations that came into the power, and that's spiritual too. The license plate in front of us is what? 444, which means mercy, because the Lord is having mercy on who? The elect of Israel.
That's right.
All right, that's it. All right, and for you brothers to understand this knowledge, man, that means the Lord had mercy on you, man. The Lord was gracious unto you, like I tell you in Peter's. But now these demons, since that so-called 9/11 10 years ago, 2001, right? They done made all these different laws, which pretty much they're just taking whatever freedom you had, any sovereignty you had, or even any civil rights you had, which really civil rights is bullshit anyway. That still means you're property of the government, you know what I'm saying? But any so-called rights you might have had, they took. You have no more privacy, you don't have no more constitutional rights, because since 9/11, all these different laws they passed, which they pretty much saying that because of the terror. So you got to jeopardize your freedom in order for them to keep you safe.
Right, like you were saying, after 9/11, they passed a bill that all cell phones have to have GPS on them. And then the companies that were making certain phones, there's certain phones you can't even get no more, because every phone right now has to have GPS on it. Now they got these phones that have the option where you can turn the GPS on it. You can track your son or your daughter, but it has to be turned on in their phone. But if they turn it off, it's still active to the FBI, the CIA, and the police in case they need to find you.
Yep.
But prior to 9/11, it wasn't like that. That's another example right there.
Yeah, because all these phones, they got chips in them, man.
Exactly.
Even like with your computers and your cameras, all these cameras and everything they make, they all got memory. Nothing's never lost, man.
That's right.
Files are never lost. Your computer might crash and you lose all your files. Guess what? This government, they can retrieve. They can go deep into your computer, into the RFID, the memory of the computer, and they can retrieve. You can't get the memory back, but they can. Because why? That's all part of Big Brother, the so-called elites, you know, invading your privacy, man. You know? But go ahead, read on, brother.
The grin, for he's cast into the net by his own feet, and he walketh upon the sea.
Right, which that's talking about the so-called white man, though. These same devils, the so-called elite, the Illuminati, that's setting up all these traps. The Most High got them in the trap, man. See, this thing is going to backfire. They pretty much turned America into a police state.
That's right.
But guess what? That's going to be to their downfall, their destruction, Tawada. You see, the Lord's going to, because what's going to happen is the Lord is going to come back and he's going to send more plagues upon America, just like he did back during Egypt, but worse this time. Even worse, if that were possible. You know, go ahead.
The jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall
right, the jinn, meaning a trap. So the Most High is going to take the so-called white man by the heel of his feet, man. Right now, he's standing proud or whatever, right? They keep pushing this so-called American patriotism for you dummies out there, which they control you through the media, you see. But the Most High is going to basically pull them right out of power, man. All right, you're gonna knock them right down out of their power, man. Right?
And the robbers shall prevail against him.
Right, and the robbers shall prevail against them, which is going to be everybody, the other nations, because it tells you in what's that, Isaiah 33:1, when thou shalt cease to spoil, then you shall be spoiled.
That's right.
Because the so-called white man, he's he's going around the earth robbing everybody, terrorizing and robbing everybody.
And under the guise of Homeland Security and terrorism. They're going over here to this country to prevent that terror from coming to the United States. So the specter of terror is the reason why they over there in Libya, which ain't none of their goddamn business.
Right.
Them over there messing with Gaddafi. They want to go into Iran because Iran, under the soil, is nothing but oil. And that's why they want to go to Iran. They've been angling to get into Iran since Bush was there in office. And when you step foot in there in Iran, that prophecy in Ezekiel the 38th chapter is going to come to play. Because Russia is going to step in to back up the Iranians because they're going to protect the vested interest they got in Iran for that oil. And the Chinese are going to step in. So you take your ass over there into Iran and you're going to see what's going to happen to you when you do. Ezekiel the 38th chapter, that's the scripture that's going to come into play. And it's already in play right now. You step over there, it's going to be set in motion in full. It's going to be set in motion in full. And you devils, you know that. That's why you're playing and you're fucking tiptoeing around the bullshit that you're doing. Look, man, just fucking set up the New World Order and get it over with and stop bullshit. You bullshit, man. You got different factions of the Illuminati that are fighting against each other. Because you got one faction that's like, look, we got everything on lock. Let's just fucking take over. And then the other faction is like, no, we gotta use more tact. We gotta use more tact. They showed an example of that in the movie Blade. At the council, when Deacon Frost was at the council, you had the pure blood vampires, and then you had the ones who were turned into vampires by a bite. That was representing the Illuminati. The pure bloods meaning the pure bloodline of the Illuminati, and then you got the guys that just came in. You got war going on within the Illuminati right now.
Well, that's beautiful because the Most High orchestrated that because he said if Satan,
he divided against Satan,
how shall his kingdom stand?
That's right.
So that's how we know that we at the end of America, man. All right, go ahead, read on.
The snare is laid for him in the ground, and the trap for him in the way. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet.
Right, terror should, and that's all you're hearing about is terror alerts, which we know a lot of them is so-called false flags, so to speak, because really the ones who's committing the terrorists are the same people that's in power, the government.
That's right.
Your own United States government is the one that's committing all these different acts of terror. So they, like the brother said, so they can pass legislation, and that's what they've been doing even more so in these past 10 years, man.
That's right.
You see, and they done took pretty much damn near all the rights of the people away. Now, the brother just brought it to my attention that was some brothers in London, in England. They went out on 9/11 and they got arrested and they raided the brother's house and all this other crap or whatever. And they made some new laws now they're trying to charge the brother with. So pretty much that's going into them making all these new laws. That's new legislation that they're putting into play under that guise of terrorism.
Right, and they're gonna do it here in America because here we have freedom of religion.
Yep.
Right? Or freedom of expression, the First Amendment.
Freedom of speech and all
freedom
that.
Freedom of speech. That's basically, that don't exist no more. You know, the Constitution is basically like Bush told somebody, that's just a piece of paper.
Yeah.
He told somebody that in the interview. It's just a piece of paper. But they're going to enact that same bullshit here because of the guise of terrorism. You got the fucking nerve to call us terrorists when historically you have fucking done nothing but terrorize Negroes, West Indians, Puerto Ricans, Haitians, Dominicans, Cubans, so on and so forth.
But see, it's all a mind fuck.
Exactly.
Basically, you people, that's what they're doing. They fucking your heads up. They reversing it. Here it is. They're the fucking criminals, but they're pointing the finger at you, painting you to be the criminal, so you don't look at the shit that they doing. It's through and they're using it through the media. All right. So like I said with them brothers, that's all right. That's the spirit. The Lord said, fear none of those things. Revelations 2:10. Matter of fact, get that real quick, Babak Shah, if you don't mind. Brothers got the scriptures out. So hey, brother, it's all right. I mean, you know, sometimes you gotta go in the spirit and use, hey, cause they locked us up back during that time, man. But they didn't, you know, the Lord didn't allow nothing to happen. They arrested us back then. You know, going 10 years ago during the time of 9/11. And they set what would they set our bells at first?
$100,000 a piece.
$100,000 a piece they set our bells at, man. They tried, yeah, when we had our school set up, which the Elder Brothers on, I think it's Info Doc. They did it, Info Doc 2, they did a show showing you brothers the old school and how, you know, things were back then, or how it looked or whatever. On that same school, they rolled up on us around September 11th.
Right on September.
Right on September 11th, you know. But, you know, the Most High didn't have, you know, we got delivered or whatever, you know. And the thing, you know, the thing got thrown out or whatever because they didn't have nothing. So the same thing is going to happen with them brothers. But the thing is, Esau's trying to push that terrorist thing, man, you know. But
Revelation chapter 2 verse 10 says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer.
Right, meaning to you brothers that's in this truth, that in sincerity and truth, don't fear none of those things, meaning you're going to suffer things, you know, at the camp. Police are going to come, they're going to grab brothers up, arrest brothers and stuff like that. That's all part of this thing. The disciples went through it. This ain't no walk in the park type of a job, you know. All right, but the Lord said, don't fear that. Go ahead.
Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison.
Right, the so-called white man shall cast some of you into prison. So you had the brothers that got locked up in London. That's okay, man. The Lord is with them, and the Most High is going to deliver you, brothers, man. So you ain't got to worry about none of that bullshit, man. Go ahead.
That ye may be tried.
Right, and that's all to be so you can be tried, because going back to 9/11, a lot of guys, when we got arrested, you had a lot of clowns. Gabanzo's one, you reminded me of it the other day. He sat there, he called a school or whatever,
Started talking shit
because basically his dumb ass, which he was wishing evil on us anyway.
That's right.
But his dumb ass got caught up into it because the newspaper print all kind of shit, man. I remember I went to work after we got locked up. When we got out, I went to work. I'm walking with this guy. The whole story done got changed up. He's like, yeah, man, in Bridgeport on Fairfield Avenue, man, you heard about them, them Muslims, man, people chased them and beating them with bats and stuff. I said, oh yeah, really, man? And I'm like, you fucking idiot. I was one of the guys that got arrested, and ain't none of that shit happened, man.
I know, none of that happened.
You know? But the media made stuff. I don't know if you got that clip still. We got to find that clip. But if we find the clip, man, we'll show you brothers how they had people sitting there talking as if we was Osama bin Laden's or something back then, man.
Right, it was a news clip.
You know, I'm some old stupid ass nigga, right? Bazooka Joe chewing bubblegum nigga. Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared.
I live right here.
Damn nigga. But anyway, so this nigga Gabanzo, he got caught up into that hype or whatever. He called talking shit. You brothers went wild out and all this and that. So just talking shit about us, and he didn't even know what the fuck happened, man.
That's right.
All right, and we ain't did nothing. I mean, only thing we was gonna do, we was gonna celebrate. But you know, the most that wasn't the wisest thing to do at that time though, because we still in captivity, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got to use wisdom. You know, you got to use wisdom, and we learned it. We go through stuff and you learn. But the thing is, with you brothers, just keep doing what you're doing, man. Go ahead, brother.
Quick precept.
Yep.
It's Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 5. It says, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
Right. So that's the process, man. It says gold. Gold represents a brother, but one of the elect, tried in the fire, meaning what? Through all kind of adversities, man. For this truth, for the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, and acceptable men, meaning men that are accepted before the Heavenly Father. So the hell with, because niggas is always gonna talk shit, man. They gonna always have something to say, man. But as we get closer, you're gonna see a lot of them mouths being closed, man. A lot of them guys that sat there and say, oh yeah, GMS this, GMS that, you know, talking all this shit about us or whatever. But as the things go on, because y'all all know that we've been forewarning you about these things, man. All right, we ain't been doing no fucking telling you guys to have family days and come together with your families. We've been out here warning you about basically all the hell that was coming down, man. About the famines that's coming down. They're raising the what you call it, right? The George Washington, all these bridges, the tolls.
As of tomorrow.
Sunday night at 12, right? So they're gonna